Hello everyone, Mr. Grammar here. How to read actively. Okay, so there really isn't a universal way to read actively or properly. However, there are many strategies that one can use in order to become a better reader. I will point out though that there are some gifted readers out there that can read the text fairly quickly and only once, and he or she is able to fully comprehend the important information. However, most of the time that is not the case. Some students require rereading the text and following certain strategies to have a full understanding of what the text is saying. So let's take a look at these strategies. So I always tell students, or just folks in general, depending on who I'm teaching or tutoring, always preview the text so you can get your mind prepared for what's ahead to come. So, for example, if you're going to read The Three Little Pigs, okay, so think back. Have you ever read The Three Little Pigs? It's a child story. What's the meaning behind it? What's the theme of the story? So you can get a better understanding of what you're going to dive in. So if it's not The Three Little Pigs, but it has a cartoon, then you can understand that maybe this is supposed to be entertainment or teach us a lesson. Versus, let's say you read an article on the multiverse theory. Okay, so obviously these are two different types of readings. One is more juvenile, and the other one is scientific based. So, based on whatever the title is, you can have a brief idea of what you're diving yourself into. Okay, so that's the first step. The next step is read and reread. Okay, read and reread. So if you were to read a paragraph in the text, and if you're just clueless to what's going on, or your mind is thinking of what you will have for lunch, that's okay. That's normal, and there's a way to fix this. Reread the text. Read the text until it clicks, until you know exactly what it is saying. The third step, annotate. Annotate, highlight, write as much as you need to in your text. So, this does not mean that you have to annotate every single detail that is in a text. On the contrary, here you have to annotate the important things, highlight what is important, make notes if you have to, okay? And obviously, this isn't something that you learn overnight. This takes practice, okay? So I always tell my students, please, you have a pencil, you have a highlighter to use when you read this text, especially if it's a final exam, use it to your ability, okay? So annotate the important information at the very beginning of the text, important information in the middle, and then at the end, if you find the conclusion, circle it, highlight it, or make notes. So for example, if there's a key word and you're not quite sure what it is, circle it, look at the context clues to figure out what it means, and perhaps this word will help you better understand or answer questions at the end, okay? Annotate, highlight, and write. Nonstop. But like I said, this only comes with practice. So just the way in math class you do so many steps just to find the value of x, well, it takes work to find the value of x. So, similarly, with reading, I want you to circle, highlight, annotate all the important information until you find the value of the word or until you find the answer that you are looking for. Okay, answer questions. So once you preview the text, once you fully read the text, and you annotate the text, then you answer the questions. So if you look at the questions and you recall circling a certain piece of information in the text. Then this is where you go back, and this helps you better answer the question. Okay? And this takes practice, okay? Because answering questions is an art, from my experience, okay? So not only do you have to understand the text, but you also have to find the right answer to the questions, okay? And then this is where the second part comes in. You have to learn how to take exams properly, okay? So if A is not the answer, then it has to be B, C, or D, okay? So you go back, reread information that you need to, or read a certain paragraph based on your annotations, and this will help you better answer your questions. And the final step, repeat, okay? Repeat. You do not become an active reader overnight, but with practice, these skills come in handily, okay? So as I mentioned, how to read actively. Preview, read, reread, annotate, highlight, write, use your pencil, use your highlighter to your advantage, okay? Answer the questions. Make sure all of these steps that you used help you answer the questions, because that is how you are able to be successful in an assessment. And repeat. Okay, follow these steps, and over time you will become not only just an active reader, but a more proficient reader.